Hey, young disciples, good to see you today. Hope you're good and doing well today. Hey, Sam, good to see you, buddy. Hey, Max, good to see you. Hey, Sarah Barton. Hey, Haley and Everly. Ethan, what's up? Emery, Maston and Sarah. Hey, and Lincoln all the way from South Carolina. Jackson and Amelia and Bo. Peyton and Mason, so glad you're here. And let me see there. Looks like I see some new faces. Good to have y'all with us today. Now, I don't know if you've looked out the window, but I'm looking out the window right now, and there is some beautiful green leaves on the trees. I've been talking about this a lot, but every day it's like greener and greener outside. It's pretty cool. More and more green leaves. It seemed like just the other day, do you remember, there were like no leaves on the trees. And then all of a sudden you see like a little green bud and you say, I wonder what's happening. And next thing you know, next day, and then next day, and we're gonna have full green leaves on the trees. It's my favorite time of year. It's so beautiful. So take time to look at it if you hadn't. It's really great. Now I have this rope in my hand, and I have it because it reminds me of tying my shoes. So, do you know how to tie your shoes yet? Some of you know how to tie shoes. Some of you are learning, and one day you'll learn how to tie shoes. It's a very important thing to do, and we tie our shoe, and I like to make sure I have a good bow tie in my shoe, right? I make it real good and tight like that, and sometimes I'll do it twice. And what happens if we don't have a good tied shoe? What happens? Yep, we could trip, couldn't we? What are some fun things you like to do when you have a good pair of tied shoes? Yep. Playground, monkey bars, swing. If you ride your bicycle, you gotta have tied shoes when you ride your bicycle. You don't want your shoestrings to get caught up in the wheel or on the pedals, right? And I like to go hiking, and one of my favorite things to do, and if I don't have tied shoes, what do you think might happen to me while I'm hiking if I have my shoes untied? Yeah, I could fall. Yeah, so we gotta be careful. We gotta make sure our shoes are tied. Sometimes though, when we're playing, you ever had this happen? You'll play on the playground, and as you're playing, you'll realize you'll get a knot in your shoe. You ever got a knot in your shoe like that? Or sort of they come untied and you get this knot. Ooh, it's bad. And so a lot of times you can pull the knot and it'll come right out. But sometimes the knot won't come out. And you'll pull and you'll pull and you'll pull. And the knot just won't come out. And then you might have to get a pair, sometimes I'll get a pair of scissors and I'll kind of work the knot out, or sometimes I'll take a pencil and get the knot out. But if I pull it too tight, that knot just will not come out. Kind of reminds me of myself sometimes, knots. Sometimes I get like this here knot. Sometimes I worry, and I put my heart in a knot. Sometimes, things start running through my head, and these knots keep me up at night. Sometimes I might do something wrong and cause a knot in a relationship, maybe a friend. Sometimes I might let others down, and these knots get in the way, right? Sometimes I get knots up here in my noggin. It's kind of common, isn't it? We'll get knots. And it's common for everyone, even the people closest to Jesus. We're on the second Sunday of Easter. Easter is a time where we celebrate the resurrection of Jesus. Jesus, you remember what happens on Easter? He was put in the grave, and then 3 days later he rose from the grave. But the disciples didn't know that right away. Their life was flipped upside down. You know what flipped upside down means? It means you think everything's great and then it gets flipped upside down. They had a knot sort of come out of nowhere on them. They didn't know what to do. And so what they decided to do is kind of lock themselves up in a room. They were like, what are we going to do? We got all these knots going on, and we don't know what to do. But what I love about Jesus is And Jesus shows up. In this room, they got the door closed. Jesus shows up in the room, and he comes before his disciples when they had all these knots. And Jesus says this one phrase that I really love. It's what I want to focus on. He says, "Peace be with you." Peace be with you. We got these knots. Peace be with you. And just like that, the disciples, they were before Jesus, and Jesus says, "Peace be with you." And that knot just seemed to go away. They had a peace about them, no knots in the string anymore. Peace be with you. And so, maybe this week, or if we're feeling like we ourselves, maybe you kids have a knot you feel like is going on in your heart or on your noggins, or maybe adults too, you're feeling like this week is a tough week, and we got these knots, and we can't really quite play like we once could, right? We can't be on those monkey bars this week. Maybe we can't go ride our bike with our friends this week, and we have these knots that have just kind of came out of nowhere. And I want us to focus on that phrase that Jesus offers us this week from the Gospel of John. He says, "Peace be with you," as they're in that room. And so if you feel like that this week, know that God gives us that peace if we rely on him. So take that as encouragement this week. Also take time in this beautiful spring day just to look outside and see all this new green coming out of nowhere. And you'll probably hear me talk about that until summer because I just love this season. So go in peace, everyone. Go in peace, knowing that Jesus says, "Peace